6 days ago. There will be some tweaking, we're told, but the main part will be. One of the things expected to be in the budget is the end of what's called the public subsidy for political parties. Now, this is one of these products of the 1990s that, unless you were watching really closely, just sort of snuck up on you. The Chrétien government, back in the day, abolished donations by unions and businesses. So, in Canada today, notwithstanding the harping of those who say, well, big business and big unions are going to run them, no, they don't, and they haven't since the late 1990s. So, the only way political parties can raise money is with individual donations. Now, in the Chrétien model, the individual donation limit was just over $5,000, which is a pretty impressive sized donation. Stephen Harper and Company lowered that to $1,200. So the only way parties can finance themselves, and I'm a huge believer in this, is by bringing their message. Remember we talk about voting with your feet, voting with your wallet? Well, if political parties make sense, I think you should give them money. So give them your $20 donation, your $50 donation. If you've got lots of coins, go up and give them up to their $1,200 maximum you can give, right? But at the time, and this goes back to the Chrétien government's days, the trade-off for abolishing the union and corporate donations was to have an annual subsidy from the taxpayer. So every single vote a party gets in an election, for the next 4 years until the next election, paid quarterly, the parties all get $2 for every vote. And this, again, it came in the 90s, and it was seen as a quid pro quo for reducing the union and corporate donations. But it's become a silly business where you simply gross up the number of votes. I mean, a really good example is the Green Party. Historically unable to elect anyone to the House of Commons, and they finally did this time with Elizabeth May. You'd like this. The Green Party, last 2 elections, got nearly 1 million votes. 975,000 votes across the country. Times that by $2 a vote, you've got a party with no MPs walking around every single year with nearly $2 million from the taxpayer. Ironically, now that they do have an MP, do you know how many people voted for the Green Party this time around? 576,000. So the Greenies nearly lost half their votes. But even on this model, they will net, when you times $1 million, $1.15 million from the taxpayer will go to the Green Party. All of the other parties stand to benefit. So let's say there were 14.7 million votes cast last month in May. The Conservatives got 5.8 million. Well, they will get, under this $2 a vote thing, $11.6 million. The Liberals only got 2.7 million votes, but they get 5.6 million. The NDP had 4.5 million votes, so they're going to get $9 million. So under this arrangement, you give money every single year to political parties. Now, it should be pointed out that this isn't the only money they get from you. Remember I talked about your donation? You know, give $20, give 50, give 100, whatever it is. It is the richest tax credit of any donation. If you give a political donation, you get 75% tax credit status, which is well above what you get if you give it to a registered charity. So already the taxpayer encourages you to donate to political parties. Here's something else that's real sweet. If any candidate gets 10% of the vote or more, they get back from the taxpayer 60% of what they spend in the election. So there's already a built-in subsidy there. So what a trip this is in politics. Run for office, and again, the only people who really lost their deposits big time here are a bunch of liberals, but you know, typically you're going to get 10% of the vote. So you get back from the taxpayer over half of what you went out and you raised, and the money you raised, everybody got a tax credit for donating that money to you. And then You get $2 a year for every vote you got? This is a racket, my friends. So what Stephen Harper is going to do today is announce the end of this per-vote subsidy. Now, there's still going to be the generous tax credit when you donate. There's still going to be the money kickback thing if you get over 10% of the vote. That's been around for years. But the subsidy of $2 a vote is coming to an end. Now, what we are going to be seeing quite likely is a phase down of this. So the subsidy is not going to be disappearing. And I would cut the subsidy altogether, frankly. But cooler heads than mine have said, rather than being $2 this year, it's going to be $1.50. Then the year after it'll be $1. The year after it'll be 50 cents. And then 4 years from now it will be gone completely.